startup culture and a Make in India culture together. So with this concept in mind, the IICs are introduced in all the institutions, and all the institutions are asked to carry out the activities in related to the ideation, innovation, and IPR as well regarding the startup. Okay, so with in this, keeping this in the mind, our institution have started the Institution Innovation Council, and I'm happy that we are starting with this first program of this Institution Innovation Council. And I distinguished speaker Mr. R. Krishnan, Ms. A. Reshma, Principal Dr. B. Subramani, Dr. M. Muthukumar, Director MBA, faculty participants from the academia, Institution Innovation Council team, and faculty friends from SNMV CAS. I welcome you all for the workshop on entrepreneurship and innovation as career opportunity. I take immense pleasure in welcoming our principal, Dr. B. Subramani, the motivating force and moral support of IIC team in conducting this program. Welcome, sir. At the outset, I would like to welcome Mr. R. Krishnan, Head Entrepreneurship, Development, Compliance Monitoring and Soft Skills, Amrita Vidyapeetham, Coimbatore, who has kindly consented to deliver the talk. We are indeed honored, sir, to have such an eminent personality amidst us. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I also take immense pleasure in inviting Ms. A. Reshma, co-founder and director of Microbolite Research and Development Private Limited and brand ambassador of Prime Minister Fellowship DST CI. She is my student, and I'm proud, Reshma, to have you in this platform. Welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I take up the opportunity to welcome, immense pleasure in welcoming the IIC team, the faculty and students of various academia, as well the faculty friends from SNMV CAS and other organizations. I do hope the participants will have a happy learning and wish you all a bright success. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I take the pleasure of inviting Director MBA, Dr. M. Muthukumar, Startup Coordinator, to deliver the presidential address.
Sir, your mic is switched off.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone, my fellow colleagues, students, and people from industry side. It is my immense pleasure in expressing our sincere thanks to Mr. R. Krishnan, Head, Entrepreneurship Development, Amrita University, and Ms. A. Reshma, Co-founder and Director, Microbolite Research and Development Private Limited, for having consented to interact with the participants on entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity today. Thank you very much for joining us. I'll make my felicitation very small. Like you see, the Indian economy is fundamentally very strong economy because of the demographic dividends. And probably all these problems what we face today is because of the pandemic. Once the pandemic is over and the entire country is properly vaccinated, the economy will bounce back. Okay, so we are planning, we are talking about 5 trillion economy in another few years of time, kind of that. But I don't doubt, because seeing the fundamentals of the economy, it is going to be definitely 5 trillion economy in another 3 years or 4 years of time. There is no doubt on that. You know, as students, and how we are going to capitalize on that, how we are going to be part of that growth story, lies in two ways. Either you can equip yourself to make a good career in some good industry developing sector, or the best choice probably would be like to take a part in that growth story, like becoming an entrepreneur, coming out with your own startup. Okay, so and the world is now, people very often use a term called VUCA. It's volatile, complex, ambiguous, and uncertainty. Things are moving up. So you should understand that where there is a problem, there is an opportunity. The world is becoming more volatile, more complex, and more ambiguous. It means it is going to create a lot of problems. And probably if we are able to come out with some great innovative ideas, we can start up our own startup to all the problems that the VUCA is going to create for the people. Okay, so if this is a very apt title, and probably if young people like you, if you want to be a part of the growth story of India, the best choice, best route you can take is to have your startup and being a part of this growth story. And I congratulate IIC Council, team for organizing such a wonderful event, and my best wishes to it. Okay, so once again, I'm really happy welcoming both the resource people, and I leave it to the MOC desk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I kindly welcome Mr. Dinesh, Internship Coordinator, Placement Officer, to introduce to us our guest speaker for the first session.
Yes, good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure giving introduction as a placement officer to another person from the same department. With that pleasure, let me introduce Mr. R. Krishnan. Mr. R. Krishnan is a life skill coach who has been working in the knowledge domain since 1994. Apart from reading and writing, he loves mentoring and coaching students in the area of soft skills, careers, and entrepreneurship. After starting his corporate career in management consulting, he moved on briefly to information technology sector before migrating to academia in December 2003. Currently, he is heading entrepreneurship development, compliance monitoring, and soft skills at Amrita Center for Entrepreneurship, Corporate and Industry Relations, Amrita Institutions at Coimbatore. In addition to this, Mr. Krishnan also holds the post of convener, Institutions Innovation Council, Amrita Institutions. He is the Innovation Ambassador, Entrepreneurship Development, Ministry of Education, Innovation Cell, and plays the role of mentor, National Innovation Contest. That's it. Thank you. Narrated to this, sir, he has presented a lot of articles and received many awards for the service to the students' service. Thank you.
Ma'am, should I begin?
Yes, sir. The session is yours, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for the very warm introduction, and I really feel honored and delighted and privileged to be part of this August gathering. So special thanks to Dr. Vijay Chitra, the IIC convener, who reached out and checked for my availability and all that. So I'm really grateful to everyone in the entire team here who have made this happen to begin with. So my pronouns and respects to everyone who's there, from the principal, Dr. V. Subramani, to Muthukumar sir, the HOD MBA, to Reshma ma'am, who's a real entrepreneur and whose session we all are eagerly looking forward to. I'm sure that will be an inspiration. The faculty members, the entire IIC team that is powering the students, and thanks to Mr. Dinesh, the internship coordinator, for the kind words of introduction. I thought it was a little long because I have a very a short profile, nothing great to speak about. But anyway, thank you so much for this warm introduction, and thanks to Ms. Shipra for initiating the whole meeting. So at the outset, I would request the students to be as interactive as possible to make the most of this session. I think we'll have time to, at 3 o'clock, I'll have my next session beginning, so we'll probably wind up at 2:50 to 55 maximum. So to make the most of this opportunity, I'd request the faculty members or the students or anyone who's part of this meeting to kindly unmute themselves and ask me to stop, so that I am in a position to clarify any doubt that might arise at any point in time. So that's the only request. And in case things are getting stuck or there is some network issue, then kindly also point it out to me. So since We are at the moment uh, at 2:15. Okay, so we have at least about half an hour to have. I would like to share something with you all, and then we will have some questions subsequently. I hope it is okay with you all. Can I have some responses from the students in the audience? If I'm audible, if there is anything else they would like me to cover, things like that. Please feel free to unmute yourself. Any volunteer responses? Respondents? Yeah. Who's this?
So this is Dr. Bhagiraj, head of Microbolite, sir, and coordinator of.
Dr. Bhagiraj, thanks for responding.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
So, will students be able to unmute themselves and ask if they wish to? Okay, so somebody in the audience who is a student, I would like him or her to kindly unmute himself or herself and confirm to me, other than a faculty member or ma'am or sir or principal or HOD or Bhagiraj sir, if somebody else, some student can confirm.
So your screen is visible.
Yeah, okay. Who is this?
So Shipra.
Okay, fine. And are you a student or you're a coordinator? How exactly?
I'm a student.
Okay, so what program are you pursuing here?
I'm doing my final year in BSc Microbiology.
Okay, final year in microbiology. Okay, great. Thank you so much for confirmation. I think you are the one who introduced the gathering, the whole session, right? So I'd request everyone in the audience to be as interactive as possible. First of all, this is the agenda. We'll try to look at careers in entrepreneurship and innovation. Then we'll look at the new age entrepreneurship and principles of new age entrepreneurship, because that's more relevant today. Best practices of new age entrepreneurs. Most of these things, innovation is incorporated and infused already into it. So I will look at covering all these. To begin with, since the topic is careers in innovation and entrepreneurship, I'll lay some preamble here. I'm not very sure if some of you have Googled or found out what are the opportunities that abound for innovators. But then whether you are in the field of microbiology or you're in the field of business or you're in the field of science or engineering or technology or arts or commerce, end of the day, today every organization has to be innovative, right? And when there is an innovative organization, then and only then there is a chance for its survival and growth. So something different is what they have to constantly keep doing, even if it's not dramatically different, if it's not a discovery, if it's not an invention. Every organization is supposed to be innovative. And today the mantra is only the innovative will survive, thrive, and grow. So if that is what it is, then possibly, as budding innovators and budding entrepreneurs, all of us as students, irrespective of our discipline, okay, and thanks to the IIC, which forms a central pivot for the institution, in this case SNMV, College of Arts and Science. So what we have is a platform where not only those who are into technology, but even who are not exposed much to it, but more as a user, everyone has a chance for looking at career options. And since there are a host of people in the MBA from multiple backgrounds, so of course when you're looking at a discipline like microbiology, you'll have to have necessarily a science background, right? But then in an MBA, what happens is people from science, engineering, technology, as well as from arts and commerce. They are all welcome. So you have no limitation or boundaries. Likewise, the field of entrepreneurship does not necessarily require you to be somebody from a science or engineering or technology background. There are not just high-tech products like those from the Apple stable, the iMac, the iPhone, and so on and so forth. But there are, plenty of ventures which are nothing to do with technology, and therefore, in that space, when you look at, it's a level playing field, and a whole lot of people who have done engineering have gone and ventured into, let's say, opening a restaurant or a recreation park or something of that sort, and likewise, it has happened the other way too. So, I mean, it is not surprising for entrepreneurs to either embrace technology or ignore technology to some extent when it comes to their core competency or the core area of business that they are treading on. So, given that, the field of entrepreneurship is open to everyone, and almost in similar lines, it's open to everyone who is supposed to be innovative, because today businesses have to be innovative, and therefore, even if you are a non-technology person, there is nothing for you to feel that, oh my God, I haven't studied technology. How can I innovate? How can I bring out a product which is innovative? So innovation and entrepreneurship both are for those who may or may not be from the technology background when it comes to, let's say, a UG degree or not. And then we have, for example, at Coimbatore itself, a lot of examples of great entrepreneurs in myriad fields, including the world famous entrepreneur, for example, Arunachal Muruganandam, who came up with this, sanitary napkins pad making machine, and also popularly known as Padman, and then based on whom even a movie was made. So we have, people who have multiple, or diversity rather in terms of background. So have a very, very diverse background of being innovators and entrepreneurs. So those who want to make a difference will make a difference. So now coming to this broad platform or canvas, let's look at what are the roles available. Actually speaking, many of these are related, interrelated, somewhat, differently projected and so on. So if today you are a budding professional, at the moment a student and looking forward to entering the industry, then it is not necessarily that all of you have to start your own companies. Of course, that would be great. Then we would have so many more Indian companies coming up with Indian products, and we can be really proud of that. But then it's not necessary that you have to begin by being an entrepreneur or an innovator. But there are a lot of jobs as well that are available for innovators. And when it comes to careers in innovation, therefore, one often comes across this, role of an innovation consultant. An innovation consultant is somebody who is going to be an external entity and who will guide an organization to come up with, innovative solutions for the problems or projects that they are working on. Then there is this business model designer. So because a lot of organizations, they have to come up with different models, whether it is ordinary things like the pen, the cell phone, the footwear that we're wearing, or the laptop bag or the flask, or anything that we use day in and day out. So there has to be constant evolution, whether it's a car or a bicycle or whatever, an electric bulb. So you have to constantly come up with newer designs, and this novelty, this newness is what is imparted by the designer. But then the business designer will look at it from the product market perspective. Will not do exactly like an R&D expert that's focusing only on the scientific or technological aspect of the design. He'll look at the business model. So which means the practical market aspect. Are there people willing to pay for this kind of a solution if it is introduced in the market? So the product market equation would be kept in mind when you have this kind of a role of a business model design. Next, you have the change agent. So typically, it's more of an HR-oriented profile, and the reason for this is that if you, for instance, are going to be the driver of innovation in your organization, let's say 2 or 3 of you, join together and have decide to launch your own startup from your campus or from your homes or from garage or wherever. In that case, you might like to be the change agent who will drive constantly the or provide the push for constant change and newness or novelty, and which is called as the innovation aspect of any product or process and things like that. So that's the change agent. And even if such a person is multidisciplinary or a jack of all trades or an MBA or somebody who is a specialist, let's say only in the field core area, it could be microbiology, it could be something else. Whatever is your discipline, you can assume the role of a change agent. A lot of times there are change management champions that are there in an organization, which reflects the vibrancy of the change aspect, constant innovation aspect in an organization. So change agents come into play. The CIO is, of course, a very glorious or a glorified title. Chief Information Officer is the more popular term for information technology companies, but Chief Innovation Officer is the new mantra now. And this CIO term is also getting equally popular. So earlier, CTO, CKO, CIO, if you had those things, then I would have meant information, but now it is innovation. So this is where the industry has evolved, and there is earmarked space for innovation. New business development managers and business development lead. Now these two appear to be largely on developing sales leads and getting new accounts in terms of clients and so on. But then what we are probably looking at here is adding new elements to the product market space. And new business development manager has to focus on the new product development for that market, just the way the business designer works. And the business development lead has to focus on new markets where a same product can be modified with a little bit of, let's say, a customization or a modification or a reintroduction or a positioning and so on and so forth. Then there is the innovation catalyst and the innovation analyst. So as the name suggests, somebody who catalyzes or plays an instrumental role in bringing about that is the catalyst, bringing about innovation in an organization. The innovation analyst is one who will look at all the innovations that are happening. For instance, if we are a mobile company, manufacturing company, then we will look at what, let's say, Google is bringing out, what Samsung is bringing out, what Pixel. We look at the entire range, what Apple iMac iPhone and other features are being introduced, and so on and so forth. So we will do our comparison, and then based on that, we will come up with an analysis of what is going to be predictive. Like if you have phones that will fold and unfold, and then it can be shrunk in size or rolled and so on and so forth. So the innovation analyst will focus more on what is trending, what is going to be outdated soon, what is the requirement in the market, and so on. Digital transformation officer and manager is more of a generic term. So this is to do with adoption of technology and using small innovative bits. Like the whole landscape of education changed with COVID, and everyone went into online mode. Like this session itself is an online mode. So somebody who is a digital transformation officer or a digital transformation manager would probably focus on adoption of these technologies like Google Meet or Microsoft Teams or something of that sort to carry on the process of, in this case, in this example, as I took, education. So likewise, it will be for the organizations. Then the innovation strategist is somebody who will look at it into the long term and go into predictive mode and say, okay, this is what is there in the reckoning. So we can look at getting into the space, right? As you can see the name, Alexander Sutton, I have put the link also there down there, who's a copywriter at Board of Innovation, is the one who has suggested these 19 avenues that are available, and I'd recommend that you go and read up each of these descriptive small paragraphs so you have more clarity on this. Continuing further, there is the innovation manager, which is somebody who drives the innovation. Then there's a lean startup coach. Some of them, they focus on this lean management. And so when there is a startup, which is definitely going to be lean and mean, this lean startup coach is the one who would be driving all the actions of the venture. Then there is somebody who would build the venture. That's known as a venture builder, that particular designation. There is a venture architect who will sort of get into how the entire thing would be configured, the organization, and the plan, the execution flow, the growth, everything would be planned by the venture architect. The AI consultant also steps in because a lot of these innovative technologies, even if it's replicating a sales lead conversion, for example, it can be done when an AI consultant comes in and looks at what are the innovative ways in which they could leverage the database or the details of the customers that they have, for example. Then there's this experience lead, and where based on the experience, one would be going forward to drive the innovation, because there are products which have flopped miserably in the past, and then there are products which have succeeded extremely well, and when there are Me Too products still exactly the same, some of them succeed and some of them don't. So the experience lead comes in to play in such context. Then there's a product design prototyper. So when you have a good idea and you want to come up with a minimum viable product, then the first thing that you would be looking at is coming up with a design which can be prototyped soon, and then it can be taken to the next level, and finally the prototype can be refined over a period of time and introduced into the market as an end product. The customer experience researcher is one who is more to do with finding out how are these innovative products received by the end customer, and what is the experience. Some of them, are very vocal these days, particularly with social media. So you'll find people, some of them writing, this product is hopeless, it sucks, and they give 1 star out of 5 or even out of 10. And some of them give amazing ratings. So customer experience research is again an important component, and that also will be part of the innovation space. And then there's a tech lab lead. So somebody who heads the technology department, or it is closely linked to the R&D area, but then it's the business interface which focuses on the changes that are to be made to be introduced into the market. So with those being the careers, 19 careers in innovation space, we now move on to careers in entrepreneurship. The first and the most important is being small business owners. So a lot of them who want to start a venture, I'm sure all of us are aware of some alumni from our school, from our college, who have been very successful in something or the other. Of course, when we say successful, there can always be ups and downs in business, and we know that there is nothing called static success. So it's a very dynamic concept. So we have to be prepared for the sudden twists and turns. But then the easiest thing that one can relate to is the small and medium enterprise segment, where we have a lot of small business owners. And in the startup space, where you have a lot of tech startups, these are again very lean and mean, and they all begin with a very at a very small level. So like the garage example of Apple, which is often given, and slowly over a period of time, when the organization grows, then you have become more visible, and then you try to raise more capital, and then you go for funding and venture capital and so on, and then it sort of starts scaling, and then if from the idea stage, if you go to the IPO level, then obviously there will be even more growth. So it all begins very small, and there is no harm in encouraging any startup idea that you have in your mind to be converted into a business venture. So you have to be prepared to start small and have the confidence that it will grow. Of course, you have to have the necessary things into place. You have to work on it with the right perspective, with business model canvas and other things that will come into play. The biggest contributor is the entrepreneurs, and in this case, since we all generally, typically from the college example, start small, that's the reason small business owners are mentioned there. So basically, it's all entrepreneurs. The second category is business consultants. So if you are what you call not very comfortable in parking your own funds, then the next best option is to help a venture grow in their entrepreneurial journey by being a consultant. Of course, there are pluses and minuses, but then a lot of consultants, business consultants, really good ones are the ones that have had their own ventures in the past, at least. So when you have walked the journey yourself, been there, done that, then it sort of gives you a greater clarity in terms of guiding others. So business consultants come into that phase. Business reporters. Okay, so business reporters are those who will try to cover various issues and points. They will scan the environment and then share who's doing what and things like that. Then there's fundraising and business development that needs to be done. So when you are scaling up, then you require people who will raise funds for you. So fundraisers and development officers are the next category of people. So they are also, those kind of people who have to have a good knowledge about entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurship development process, and so on and so forth. Such people would have to network extensively with seed fund managers, the venture capitalists, and so on and so forth. Then sales managers. So this sounds like a typical marketing and sales profile. It is actually, but the reason it's being mentioned there is we have to be enterprising, and if we are enterprising, then we can really change the world, because sales is one area where you get to interact with a whole lot of people. And your people skills, your communication skills, your convincing skills, and everything will probably make you into a CEO, material very soon. And that is why, you will find a whole lot of, CEOs who head startups or ventures have actually risen from the scratch, from the ground level, by beginning with sales as a key function through which they built their venture. Then you have new venture developers. So there are people who will come up with, just starting this, they might come up with the idea, they will be part of the team, they may or may not be investing at all, but then they will help develop the venture to some extent. And some of them, even after taking it to some level, they will come out of the organization. So their process is only the initial part, the development part. And then there are people who can be into teaching. So the ones who sort of, share the knowledge in the field of entrepreneurship and innovation to students. So out here, of course, the Institution Innovation Council faculty members provide that additional role. There are some organizations where the faculty is also allowed to be part of a venture, and I think the new education policy also allows for that. So this list of careers in entrepreneurship is something which you'll also find on this site, ServGyan. This is the initial part and rather the core of what was expected of me to share. In addition, I thought that we will also look at LinkedIn. So here you find the, the glamorous roles in entrepreneurship, which are more closely related to entrepreneurs. So the position of a founder, co-founder, entrepreneur in residence, head of startup programs, business incubator manager, startup accelerator manager, business mentor or coach, serial entrepreneur, investor or venture capitalist. So these are some of the most prominent openings that you will find if you have gone to a LinkedIn website and keyed in the details. So for somebody who really aspires to be an entrepreneur, wants to be an entrepreneur, I think these are designations which really will motivate you, because the kind of exposure that you get all of a sudden is phenomenal, and that can also be transformational. So in terms of careers in innovation and careers in entrepreneurship, you have definitely a whole lot in the offense. Now, I would like one of you in the audience to tell me who this person is. In fact, the name is there in the hyperlink below, but what is this person known for? Anyone? She was in the news recently. Request any student to kindly unmute himself or herself. Because now we would like to have some interactive component here. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
So it's audible.
So, can you encourage some students to unmute themselves? At least there should be some interaction, right? So I'm looking forward to that.
Students, if any of you know about her, you can kindly unmute yourself and then you can interact with sir.
Okay, so I'll just share the details since we have very less time. We're already at 2:43. So this is Vinisha Umashankar, 10th standard student, born in 2007 and from Tiruvannamalai district. She's a student, an entrepreneur, an innovator, and she's known for this solar iron card that she designed, and also for the COP26 speech that she recently delivered. I think about 4-5 days back, she was covered in the Hindu. She got a standing ovation at that speech. Actually, she has won a lot of innovative awards. Her father is a business consultant. Her mom is a school teacher. Now, what is really important is how she related her problem to something which is innovative, came up with this innovative product, and then she has really brought about a change, a transformation in the way we look at things. She says that while going to school and coming back, she would notice that there was this iron cart where somebody, the person who presses the clothes, would iron, and they would use charcoal. So they would burn coal and have that, those embers would come, and from there would be pollution. She has been seeing that. So she thought she can create a difference by coming up with this solar based iron cart. So the solar energy would power the ironing, and that is how she worked on it for a couple of years, 2 years actually, and then after that she came up with this, and she won the Children's Climate Prize award. So this is really inspiring. This is really amazing. So what we can realize from this is that at a very young age, people are now catching up, right? So this is the video link. I will share this presentation with you all so you can go and check it out. It's a very inspiring speech, and when she was invited by the prince to share her ideas, she mentioned that today the youth are angry, that many of the promises made by people who are at the helm of affairs, are empty. So we want to make a change, and even if you choose to ignore it, it is we who will go ahead and make the change. So that is what she's known for. Okay, I'll have a very familiar face. Any guesses who is this person? Guys, please make it interactive. We have the last 10 minutes. About careers I've shared, so now I want it to be interactive. Any guesses? Who's this? Okay, so I'll come back to that photograph in a while. See, the point is why I'm sharing this with you all is, as Sir was mentioning some time back, Muthukumar Sir was saying that, in this stage, at your age, you have to understand that you have the power to change the world. That's the reason I also shared about Vinicia's
So,
profile.
excuse me,
Yeah.
one student has posted in the chat box, Ritish Agarwal.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely right. What is the name of the student, ma'am?
She's an MBA faculty, sorry.
Okay, fine. Anyway, thanks for the response. So it's good to know. So thank you so much for your response, ma'am. Now, at this age, we need to understand that this age is the age of entrepreneurship, because it's a new generation which is bringing about the changes. They are unafraid of breaking the barriers. They are offering technology-driven solutions to make the lives of people easier. They start a venture which is scalable. So it's not that the grandfather used to sit in a shop and then the father is sitting in the same shop and then now the son is also sitting in the same shop. The size of the shop hasn't grown. It is continuing to be like that. But we are talking about scaling the revenues, which will go up 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, for the same generation person itself. So that is scalability. And then accessing different funds from the ecosystems becomes so easy. Venture capital, I mentioned about that, angel investors, there's crowdfunding. The global reach of the business is powered by the internet. That's something which is amazing today. And that's the reason many of the people are first generation entrepreneurs. They're from the middle class, so they are young, obviously. They don't have inhibitions. They are willing to experiment, do it for the first time, whatever's never happened. Maybe there are parents who work in the public sector or in a government job, as they say, but then these people want to break that kind of a stereotype. So the principles of new age entrepreneurship include, coming up with something new. That's why innovation is important. Disrupting the idea. So the way we had Ola, and Uber disrupting the cab hiring space. Okay. The convergence of multiple technologies and platforms to one unit. Simplification. So the solutions are, like, I just need this and I'm getting it, right? I pay only for what I use, kind of thing, whether it's data or whatever. Societal impact is profound. Through social media, you can reach out anywhere and everywhere to all nooks and corners. You have a video, you will upload it on YouTube immediately. Connect based. So it's so easy to connect. Through LinkedIn, you can reach out to the big idols and possible mentors that you have been only reading about in the papers. And the entire thing has been driven by technology. So rapid prototyping has become very easy. So we have numerous examples. Flipkart, of course, we know how they thought that they'll help people save time when it comes to purchase. Lucia is the crowdfunded movie, and of course this is e-learning and so on. So we have this excellent compilation by CII Southern Region. It's a mint publication from Random House. And if you want to read more about how these organizations like Johnson Lifts, Amar Raja Batteries, Axel Frontline, Manappuram Group, New Sigma, Ramraj Cotton, Sri Krishna Sweets, Sigma Poultry, and all have come up, you will get to know in this particular volume. So some of the best practices listed in this volume are that, they are single-minded in terms of focus and passion. There is tenacity to withstand. They focus on customer service. It's not just a department. The CEO will himself, talk to customers directly. They focus on attracting and empowering talent. There's leadership, and leadership is really dynamic and good. And they focus only on certain things, only on the core aspects. Now, this is a very interesting compilation of, again, 10 successful young Indian entrepreneurs. I would show you not this video, although the link will be there, but then some of those faces. So maybe some of you can, again, unmute yourself if you recognize a face. I'll just wait for a couple of seconds. So if we can make the most of this platform for sharing, it will be great. Okay, so this is Suhas Gopinath. So he's a young guy, 34 years old, founder, CEO, and chairman of Globals Incorporated. Started taking charge as CEO at the age of 17, won the Young Achiever Award, the European Parliament Young Global Leader Award at Davos, and so on and so forth. This is the name which has already been shared, Ritesh Agarwal. So you know that Oyo Rooms was founded by this 27-year-old. At the age of 13, he started getting into business. So age is no barrier. Again, he's proved that. I don't know how many of you recognize this face, but then this is Trishneet, and he's the founder and CEO of Tax Security, which is into cybersecurity and into ethical hacking and so on and so forth. Again, he's recognized for his achievement through several awards, including that was given by the government of Punjab as well as Forbes and Fortune magazine. These are the Kumaran brothers, Shravan and Sanjay, and age 16 and 15 from Chennai, co-founded Go Dimensions. Basically they are into the mobile app programming. So here's another inspiration, Tilak Mehta, age 15, who's even tied up with the Dabbawalas. He's a CEO and founder of Papers and Parcels. So he won the Youngest Entrepreneur in the Logistics Sector Award. Then this is Nitesh Yadav, age 21 from Alwar in Rajasthan, founder and CEO of Texicon. And again, this person is into the IT space, app development. She's Sri Lakshmi Suresh from Coimbatore, and the founder and CEO of eDesign, which is a startup that she launched in 2009. Again, winner of several awards. So you get to see here Akhilesh Sahu, Akhilesh Sahu, and he's a founder and CEO of AST&T Technologies and Technical Next. Again, won several recognitions, being the Young Achievers Award and the Young Entrepreneur, and so on. And this is Advait Thakur, age 17, founder and CEO of Apex Infosys India. So you can see that the kind of recognition he's got is India's hottest young entrepreneur 2018. 6 entrepreneurs under 25 making waves in 2019, listed like that. And of course, the poster boy, I think all of you will recognize him, Bhavish Agarwal. So he's the co-founder and CEO of Ola Cabs. And he quit his job as assistant researcher in Microsoft Research India to start this. Of course, as you would have got to know, he ventured into those scooters of late, and this is a very interesting interview of his, but then due to paucity of time, we'll have to skip this at the moment, but you can read the case and get to know more about him. So the point that we're trying to say is that, this is an ever-growing field. So it is your generation which is going to take it forward. And if you look at the trend also, it's amazing. It's grown from 7 times to about 50,000 in this decade. So obviously from 2008 to 2018, if it's grown like that and the trend continues, of course, there might be some intermittent dampness due to COVID and other things. But the point is, here's the future. And whether it is in the MSME sector where people begin, or whether it is, in the other career opportunities that I spoke about, you have a lot of things that you can leverage on as students of innovation and entrepreneurship. This IIC platform is an amazing platform, and it is up to you to make the most of it. Vijay Chitra ma'am, I'm sure, is going to line up a host of other things. She's already requested her student to speak in the forum immediately after this. So you will definitely enjoy and gain a lot of knowledge, gain a lot of confidence. If you have some idea, please take it forward. Your IIC faculty members and innovation ambassadors in the ecosystem will help you develop innovative solutions to industry problems. So participate in as many programs as possible, and the Smart India Hackathon, or the innovation contest, idea contest, and things like that. It will help you nurture innovations, come up with startups. So you can even probably partner with faculty. Out here, we have Amrita Center for Entrepreneurship, and this comprises students, alumni, and EDP participants. There are 1,231 members as of now, and we have been doing these DST programs, which are awareness camps, entrepreneurship development programs, and faculty development programs. And it has been very useful. Also partnering with TIE and Codizia at the regional level with the industry, with the IIC team. Of course, ACE works very closely, and we have Dr. S. Balamurugan, who's chairman EEE, chairperson EEE, as the president of our IIC here. And we have innovation ambassadors. We conduct those programs regularly, including Smart India Hackathon. The three programs that I spoke about in this EDP, we welcome alumni from any institution which is around this place as well. So even SNMV alumni, or those who have already done the UG, they are eligible if they are from a science or engineering background. So far, we have 43 ventures from 5 EDPs, which are attended by 129 participants. And FDPs, you have conducted 5, and 106 faculty members have contributed. Awareness camps have reached 765 students. So these are the details of those camps year-wise. And we have some successful members from the EDP stream as well. That was the last one. And of late, we did one TEDP, Technology-Based Entrepreneurship Development Program. So that is about it from my side. If you have any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask. These are my contact coordinates. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Can you check if there are any questions, ma'am?
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you, sir, for the enlightening session. The man who asks a question is fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life, said Confucius. With these wise words, I would like to welcome any questions for Dr. R. Krishnan on this session.
Ma'am, I don't have a PhD, so I'm just a Mr., not a doctor.
Sorry, sir.
No problem.
Students and faculty, if you have any questions or any clarifications regarding the entrepreneurship, you can raise your questions.
Otherwise, no problem, ma'am. What I'll do is I'll share this PPT with you. You may kindly pass it on to them. And in case you would like them to sort of interact later also,
Sure, sir, sure.
Thank you so much for your time and effort, and I'm really grateful.
Really, sir,
honored by this opportunity.
our sincere gratitude from the IIC team as well as on behalf of the SNMV. We thank you so much for accepting our invitation, sir. Thank you, and also for being patient with us, and for also for your humble responses whenever I contacted you. Your humble responses has made us made the program very successful, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Expecting
ma'am.
further collaboration with you in future, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to ask Mrs. Selva Jayanti, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, to introduce our next guest speaker to baffle and inform our minds with more.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the chief guest, IIC Workshop, Dr. Reshma, Chief Scientist and Director, Microbolite, Research and Development Private Limited, Manipal. She has completed UG and Diploma at Shri College, Coimbatore. She has done MSc Industrial Biotech.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the chief guest, IIC Workshop, Dr. A. Reshma, Chief Scientist and Director, Microbolite Research and Development Private Limited, Manipal. She has completed UG and Diploma at Shri College, Coimbatore, done her MSc Industrial Biotechnology at Bardiyar University, Coimbatore, PhD in Microbial Biotechnology at Bardiyar University, Coimbatore. She received numerous awards like NIDHI EAR Fellowship in 2021, JRF in DST in the year 2018, JRF in the year 2014, and JRF Prime Minister Fellowship for doctoral research students in 2016, UGC PG Single Girl Child Award 2013. She has published various research papers in reputed international and national journals and presented papers in national and international conferences, and also acted as a resource person in various events. She is a member of professional bodies such as National Academy of Biological Science and member in Indian Science Congress. We request the young and eminent personality to address the gathering. I would like to call upon Dr. Reshma to accompany us on this platform to enlighten us with our words, true wisdom. The forum is yours, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Reshma, I personally welcome you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're audible, and really happy to have you in this session.
Okay. So shall I proceed with presentation?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would like to thank everyone, the principal, other members, Dr. Vijay Chitra, those who are working for taking a initiation for this kind of program, because apart from our academic activities, these kind of programs are very essential. Then only students can understand what is going on in and around apart from our syllabus. That is very essential to understand about their knowledge and to get various ideas in their career development. So I will tell like a few examples what I have throughout my journey, and some technical points I can give from my side, how a student can get inside this journey, and how this will be very useful from MSc days onwards, how they can prepare themselves for their journey. All these things I will like to discuss with you. So let's see, let's have a look on this one. I think it is visible. Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Mainly this leadership quality and the ability of a person in terms of developing an entrepreneurship journey is
Excuse
very
me, Reshma. Okay,
sorry.
proceed, Reshma. Proceed,
Yeah.
Reshma. Proceed.
Yeah. So the title itself very clear, like it's showing the ability or the ability of a person to get inside the entrepreneurship journey. That is very important because we should have a leadership quality. Then only we can enter inside the system of ecosystem, this particular ecosystem. And I will tell how we can develop these characters from the beginning itself, and what are the basic qualities for the self-developing programs we require to get inside this ecosystem, as well as some other opportunities and funding for this particular program. These are all very essential, I think. So first of all, I would like to tell, we will get different ideas in between our UG PG studies. We will do some project work, we will go for some hands-on training, and we will gain some special attention on particular point based on the interest of the person. Either they may be biology or biotechnology, microbiology, somewhere they have lot of ideas. So at the end of the day, I mean, after you are completing your course, it's your responsibility to find out your future. Either someone will go for studies, someone will continue with the job, or any number of options are there, and it's your responsibility to find out which is most suitable path for you. Okay, so someone who is interested to get inside this kind of startup process, one of the best suitable places, different incubation centers. So what is this incubation centers? I will give, I think a lot of MSc and BSc students are there. So hopefully I think they have good idea about all these things, but I would like to tell few points about this. So basically one incubation center, even though you have a number of ideas, this is academic project based work, whatever you are doing, and when you are planning something for the marketing aspect is entirely different. So that difference you can understand once you can enter inside this incubation centers. For example, once you are writing some projects inside your lab, you will think what about the novelty of your work as like a normal discussion. We will tell always novelty likewise. So one aspect we will think about the same, and second other criteria what we will work out how it is possible to pursue in our lab system, where we can go for getting some other option, alternative options, or outsourcing. All these things we will discuss in the normal projects work. But when you are considering something inside this market developing or product developing, that kind of working, something different. So in that aspect, you can get some advices from incubation centers. So they will give more nourishment on your ideas and thoughts, like in the way how it should be useful for the public. Even though you are designing something, see, if you are designing one cosmetic item, already many items are there, but you have to find out how this is unique for others. So that kind of molding you will get. How this molding will take place when you are interacting with other people, those who are working in the same or different disciplines. So it is a mutual understanding, mutual discussion, and it is a making of network in between the people. So it is a common platform. You will get chances to share your ideas, as well as the experienced hands will be there. So what they can do, they can give some input for your ideas. So all together, it is a journey together to polish your ideas. Then some other options, like you will get co-working spaces, lab facilities, mentoring and advisory support. This mentoring and advisory, already I told, you can polish your ideas to make at the end of the day as a product. Apart from our lab based discussion, how this should be reached into the market, that advice and support definitely will get from incubation centers. And you will get some lab facilities, whatever the requirement. Based on your requirement, you will get a chance to interact with the people, so you can get an idea what is going in and around. So the picture itself telling it is a step by step slow grow process will take place once you are getting inside this incubation centers. So this is about my team. I told, no, this is apart from my knowledge, I would like to tell something about my personal journey also. So now we are having a private limited. This is known as Microbolite. We are 3 of them are there, and these 3
Excuse
members
me,
are.
Reshma.
Yeah.
I think your slide is not changing. Shall I present it?
Yeah, sure. I am in team members and mentors.
No. Actually, the slide is not changing. I'll change it. I'll share this slides. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure, please.
Yeah. Okay. Now it is changing. I think you have to go for the side slides. Some problem with the Google when we are presenting. For you, it may be changing.
Yeah, I can see the slide.
Yeah. So you just press for each slide. You press on the other side, the right side, so that it will change. For you, you will get a full screen, Miss Reshma.
Is it visible now?
No. I'll present.
Okay.
I'll start from the first.
Yeah, can you go to the next slide, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Previous one. Yes. Okay. So, let me continue. Is it visible, audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fine. So this is about our team members. We are 3. So when you are forming a team, I would like to tell like few points. When you are planning, there should be a person who is taking care of research. Someone should be taking care of financial aspect, and someone should be taking care of the industry marketing aspects. That is very important, because once you are forming a team, all aspects, all the elements are very essential. Research, because 100%, if you are planning for some product in market, 50% is technology, rest of the 50% is marketing and its related elements. So the people, those who have much experience in all these field are essential. Maybe your work is unique, but if it is not reached to the proper way to the market, it is no use. So all people with essential knowledge, experience with relevant field is very important for the team formation. And the next, our team members, they are from the different, because when you are planning for a startup journey, you must have multidisciplinary thinking. Like one time you can't keep on doing with a single work. It may or may not work. Parallelly, you should have something else. So in this aspect, we are working in different disciplines, like biology based, textile based, whatever the possibilities we are having, we are trying for the same. So we are also having mentors from various disciplines. So these are all some certain key elements while forming a company is very essential. We have to see different work at the same time. We should have different people with different field as well as mentors for the same. So these are all some basic ideas of forming. Can you move to the next slide, please? Yes, this is like my journey, how I just reached to the stages. When initially after completing PhD time, I just got a fellowship from Prime Minister's Fellowship for Doctoral Research Student. This is supported by DST, SERB and CII. Basically, this fellowship supported me a lot to get inside this system, because normally other fundings are just related to for funding project like that. But when it is come to CII, they are essentially supporting for the product development, patent, all those process. They will train for all these things. So the experience what I gained during this time initiated this thinking, like how can I start a startup. When I discussed with my colleagues also, they supported a lot for me for the idea what we discussed. Then another 1 year I was working in 2-3 different projects. Then working another couple of years Shri Guru College with my teacher, like me and Chitra ma'am were working together. That was a pleasant moment in my life. Like 9 to 12 she was taking classes for me, then later I was working with her. That is a different experience. When a student get a chance to work with the teacher is something different. So from there, after working there from SNGC, I just shifted into this incubation system. I will tell how I reached to this one. Can you please move to the next one, please? Yes. How I reached this one. Like when MSc students are there, we used to publish some papers and project at the end of the semester, like MSc students last semester. So like when I was working there, I got a student, we were discussing about some works, and finally with her interest as well as with considering my some small experience, we designed a work which is related to the wound care material development for DFU. So we were planning like how far the work is possible at the same institute and where we can do the rest of the work. When after a mutual discussion, we will find out a particular place, and those people supported us to complete the study, and with the support of everyone, we completed that. Both of us successfully completed the project. At the end of the project viva over, we had a small idea. So this is the material. If we are taking this one into the market in the more advanced level, that will give you some more benefit. So we discussed our idea with the various members, and finally we got a support from one of the another team, and we planned together how can we start a company, how can we commercialize these type of products. So that is the beginning day of the journey in Microbolite, what we are at present doing. So a small work of MSc student project designing and its small 2-3 level stages of screening and results gave us a confidence, like if we are doing some more ideas and inputs towards to this work, that will lead to market. The idea is more relevant to the market also. That's what we got a support from outside, and finally we formed a company and we incubated at Manipal, because being a beginner to the journey, me needs lot of support, what I discussed earlier, like how my product become unique, how can I give it as a different way. For that aspects, to get more training and more to get funding, all those, considering all those aspects, we incubated at Manipal. So in this way, I can tell like that if you are doing some small work also, it is very important. Don't do some work and leave it as such. You can think over how you can make the further use of that one. Doing project, every year we are doing 6 months project, right? Everyone doing project. I can see many students are doing, many staffs are doing. If staff is having 10 years of experience, I don't know how many students they handled. In that much of effort we are putting means, why can't you think to make into the next stage? That is our challenge. That is our spirit in ourselves. Why can't you take this to the next stage? That is the essential question. And if you are trying for the same, you can find out answer. Obviously, I am sure that beginning is quite tough. But without any taking risk or challenge, without effort, nothing is possible. So likewise, just with my small MSc project work, I got another small funding and the journey just initiated. So can you move to the next one, please? Next slide, please. Yes. This is one idea I will give you. If you are having a small work with you, and if you are interested to apply for one project, what are all the main criteria you want to understand? Because when you are writing for any kind of proposals in academia based, when you are writing some proposal, it is based on our like there is a flow chart, like methodology will be there, timeline will be there, and expected outcome and budget, so and so. This is the normal way we used to prepare. But when you are applying for incubation center, you have to develop a small POC, proof of concept. Something should be have valuable POC should be with you. It is a kind of working model. Based on the success of that POC, you have more chances to get your funding. Instead of telling a assumption based proposal, if you are having a proof of concept with you and then you are asking some amount for your future work, it will work out more easily. That is the best difference between the projects. So in that one, they will consider, if you are applying for one incubation center project, they will see in what level you are. That is known as technology readiness level. They will measure your TRL level. Mainly TRL 1 to 9 is there. The first one, TRL 1 is basically we are collecting the details and two basic work. If you are at the stage of 3 is the initial stages of screening. At least if you are completing TRL 3 and TRL 4, then only you are eligible to apply for various fundings from incubation system. Because all up to 4, they will get idea about the work, how it is unique, what you have done already, how far you are success in the work. After from the 5th onwards, if it is a big work, you can apply for the funding. So based on the TRL scales, they will measure your work. So if you are interested to apply for some incubation based work, first you develop a POC, make success up to the stage of 4, then try to apply. The TRL 1 to 9 in detail, they are telling in many guidelines. Please go through that one. Moving to the next one, please. Yes, this is the stages what I told, TRL 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to 9 stages are there. Up to 3 I told. 4 and 5 will do some in vitro and in vivo studies of your experiments. 6 and 7 will do the real working, like what you are really expecting. That product should be ready in the 6th and 7th stage. 8th and 9th is exactly we will take into the market level and we'll go ahead with the public with supply. So we will collect the feedback at the time itself and we will see how far it will work out. What is the drawback in this one? So what people will do, maybe at the stage of TRL 7 itself, they start to collect the feedback, because if you're waiting at the end of the day and giving a product to the market, we can't tell how far it will be useful. So in between, if you are giving and collecting some feedback, it is obviously good. You can understand how this one is useful, what people are expecting actually in terms of quality, in terms of technology, in terms of price also. That is very essential. Maybe your product is the best, but if they can't afford, that won't work out. So these are all the stages. These stages are telling all about your research, product development, marketing, how it should be reached to the market. Once it reached to the market, how can you stay back successfully? For that one, what are all the initial stages and ideas you should work out? All these things are very essential, and be clear, we are eligible only applying for any funding after completing TRL 4. That is the initial essential screening and important stages of the work, what we can do with our available facilities, and it should have some importance. Okay, so moving to the next one, please. Then this is about the registration of your company. Wherever you are going for the registration, your company, incorporation of your company is very essential. Then register with Startup India is also very important. Then DPIIT recognition. These are all the different stages of company registration, documentation, recognition number, all other details. Because why company registration is important means that this part will take care by some company secretaries and all. They will get all these things, like once you are applying in Startup India, DPIIT, what are all the benefits means we will get some financial support, as well as it is very easy for processing our documents. Once we have the certification and the number, our documents will move faster than other people. So that is showing like that we are one step forward than others. So we should have, once your work is over, you have to slowly focus on your company registration. And One more difference is there. Once you get inside this incubation ecosystem, startup ecosystem, there are a lot of fundings are there. In that, only one funding system is only supporting an individual. That is known as Nidhi IIR. Later, whatever the fundings you are applying, the main criteria is company registration. So this EIR is just giving a token of support for a student or a newcomer to stay back in the field for a 1 year. Meanwhile, you have to register your company, then only you are eligible for applying for the funding in the higher amount. So company registration process is very important, and get certificate from Startup India, DPP, IIT also very important for the further documentation process. So moving to the next one, please. These are all the roles of Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, DIPP. This is giving you lot of opportunities, and from this one you can get different PAN card, your company ID, and they will give you the lot of training for you, and hands-on training will give you more ideas about your work, as well as different MOA. You will get a chance to collaborate with people. You will get chance to learn about IPR processing and how your product can take into the system. So it is all about like industry policy, and they will give support for the incubation system in terms of many things. You can have a look on the same. Then moving to the next one, please. Previous one. Next one. Can you go back to the one slide, please? Yeah, next one, please. Yes, okay, fine. This is the short benefits of DIPP. We will get some, if for example, if you are not getting any kind of funding, but if we want to stay back in the system, so we can apply some initial stage of financial support from there. And it is very easy for IPR registration, intellectual property rights for your product. If it is unique, you can directly go ahead with IPR processing, filing, patenting, development for all these system. DIPP, if you are a member of that one, you will get fast movement, fast tracking, and we will get easy connection with the government e-marketing system. Then we will get chances to interact with people. These are all the some benefits of DIPP. Overall, we can tell like that it will accelerate your work in terms of many things. That is the main importance of taking membership in DIPP. Can you go back, move to the next one, please? Then who are all eligible for taking membership in this one? Those who are registered their private company limited act. They have a company that should be registered under Private Limited Company Act. Then they should not have more than earning 100 crores, and within 10 years of less than 10 years of registration, as well as the members are majority comes from the Indian region. So these are all the some essential criteria they consider for the registration process. These are all the some rules and guidelines. You can go through that one. So the next one, please. This is very essential. Initial funding, because whatever the work we are doing, two sides are there. One is the success of our work. Next thing is survival of an individual. Both are essential. We can't compromise at one point. I believe in such a way. We can't predict at what point it will be happen, but we have to keep on trying for the both. It is very essential. Then only we can stay back in the system. So this initial funding is very important. For that thing, lot of incubation centers are giving lot of opportunities. Government is also giving lot of opportunities. So our responsibility is find out what are all the relevant funding for us. That is essential. Lot of fundings will be there, but you have to find out which is most suitable for you. If you're applying for a non-eligible part and telling something, it's not valuable. You have to track out. You have to figure out what is your work, how long it will take to finish. What is the suitable call for you for? Is there any suitable call for there for applying? If it is yes, how can you apply for the same? All your criteria are suitable for the same. So many homework are required. So that kind of process is essential for initial funding. Mainly what people are normally used to do means when they get a chance of writing some proposal, they used to do all the technical aspects, what they learned throughout the 30-40 years of experience. But there is a question, how this technology will reach to the public, because funding system in the incubation will give for a successful product development. If the technology is superb but there is not reaching to the people, as I said earlier, there is no use. Both should be work in a side by side. The technology should be proper as well as it should have a market reach. To learn all these things, initially, if anybody is stepping inside the system, there is an individual fellowship called Nidhi EIR, Entrepreneurs in Residence. So this will support small business people in India. They are encouraging the people, those who are coming back to this field. Initially, this funding is for 12 months. Maximum this funding will give for 25,000 and minimum 15. Based on your qualification and your proposal, the funding may change. Minimum 15 and maximum 25. So after completing any MSc students, from MSc onwards it is eligible. You can apply for the same fellowship. At the same time, you can also join as a pre-incubatee. Pre-incubatee, actually you have to pay small amount, but being in Nidhi IR fellowship, you will get a small amount for your initial survival. For a 1 year, you can present one work also. You should write a proposal and you should get the selection. Okay. So once you get the C.I.R fellowship, you have to plan for your company formation, and next you can apply for the another fellowship. So another things are like CIBRI is there, Nidhi Prayas is there, then big grants are there. After this, be clear, like after EIR, whatever the projects you are applying, it should come through the company. So the company registration is essential, and at least it should be the TRL stage of 4 or 5. So the initial 1 year with EIR, you should work out for the same. These are all the some essential fundings like EIR, CIBRI, Prayas, BIRAC, all these things. Here you can apply for the same. Different centers are there. For example, in Chennai, Wales University, they are having one center for Nidhi Prayas. Then Nidhi EIR, that as well as Nidhi Prayas is giving by Manipal Incubation Center, Karnataka. So when you have a glimpse of different incubation centers, you can collect the details where they are giving this type of different fundings. Okay. Then moving to the next slide. These are all the some importance of the work what I told Nidhi IR. In Nidhi IR, what are all the benefits we are getting? Financial support we will get, as well as mentoring we will get. We will get a roadmap how we can reach to the product development with unique qualities. So that is all about entrepreneurs in residence. Next one, please. Next slide, please. This is promoting Prayas funding. This is like even what is the beauty of Prayas is, even though the maximum funding support is 10 lakhs, minimum it is 30,000 also they are giving. If you are having a small work, if the committee is feeling, that means selection committee, if they are genuinely feeling your work is so valuable, even though you are at a small stage, but they feel like if they are giving you some support, there is a possibility, means they will definitely give you some token of amount. That is the beauty. There is not such a restriction. Based on your work, they will give funding. Someone will get 3 lakhs, some will get 5. In that list, I have come across like one or two people are getting even 30,000. That is essential. Don't hesitate. It is a small amount, because the work what you can do with the 30 will give you the next chance to move on with to the next level. So Prayas is maximum 10 lakhs. They can support you. Minimum, whatever it may be, they can support you if your work is valuable. So it is not like any other academia based project is like selection, presentation. Sorry for the inconvenience. Selection, rejection, not like that. It is a possible method they will try to support and encourage the people. Then moving to the next one, please. This is Sibri project. This one is like various 3 times call for is there. EIR, what I told us earlier, that is only one time opening, yearly once. Prayas funding is basically according to the convenience of Prayas centers, because they will give bulk amount from DBT. Once it is distribute a particular people, they will close. Then mostly yearly 2 times they will call for. The Prayas funding, you have to keep on have a look on different centers. Now at Manipal and Welltech opening is there, deadline is this month end. EIR yearly once, but Prayas basically on the convenience of this incubation centers you can see. And about Sibri, yearly 3 times call for will be there. And these are all the most probable chances of having the call for opening time. Slightly variation you can expect, but you can also track the same one. Then moving to the next one. This is about the building a team. When you are in an this kind of system, startup system, as I said earlier, it is all about teamwork. We are holding together more than one person, because when you are working together, the ability and efficiency of people will get increased in terms of domestic responsibilities, in terms of social responsibilities, and you can do something better. That is, when you are discussing some ideas, what you know by your readings, your references, by all this process. When you discuss with your colleague, he or she can add one point, maybe it's a single point. That is might be entirely changing your journey. So it is very important to have a team with good spirit, good trust, supporting each other. These are very essential. Everyone should be support each other during all the up and down journey of the process. Otherwise, it is quite difficult. So this team building is very essential. When you are taking some people, you have to see what is the requirement in your company and the coming person how far suitable for the same, and the screening process is very essential. Okay, so what is next? Once this person get inside the system, it is not an easy task, like within a day he or she can't do anything or she can't do any miracle. So we people are support them to understand what actually is happening, how we can train them. That is our quality to sharing our ideas to make that people into the correct track, because nothing will happen within a fraction of second, or when you are thinking, or the way how you are thinking. That and all is not possible at any cost, because people are different, everyone unique, everyone is having their own talent, their own ability. So we should give a platform for everyone in the suitable way, with trust, respect, ethics, and responsibility are the essential factors of this team building. Then, more than that, we need patience. That is more essential. Patience should be there, but that patience also we have to control at some point. When work is that, if we want to keep patience, but at the same time, you are not supposed to distract from your aim. That is the quality of the leadership. Then, moving to the next one, please. This is all about this is my final slide. So I just overall because I don't want to tell much about the technology, I just conclude like that 2-3 points here. If you are interested, many of them MSc students are there, staffs and there. If you are interested to get inside to the this startups ecosystem, first of all, you have to make a contact with some people, those who are in this incubation centers. Go through their profile. Incubation centers profiles are there. You can have a discussion with the different incubation center mentors, or CEO will be there, or else you can have interaction with the different incubatees and collect their experience, and you can plan your work. This is the first stage. Okay, then you plan yourself what idea you can contribute, at what time you can contribute, and think how it is unique and what you can do with yourself inside the available system. This is the second stage. And the third stage is once you are ready with your product, the small one, what I told earlier, TRL3 or TRL4, the lab scale prototype development, if it is over, you can apply for different types of fundings. For that one, no need of waiting to long time. Once it is reached to the initial stage itself, after crossing the stage itself, you can apply for the same. And once you enter into that system, think about your team development as well as company registrations. So this is the overall idea about the incubation center system and funding development process. So even I am also a beginner within 1.5 years of experience. We received like 2 fundings. One is Niti EIR and another one is Niti Prayas. So I can tell that kind of experience with you. I think you people can, this MSc, BSc can share much better ideas and they had most experience than me. So anyway, this is a very good opportunity for me. I would like to thank everyone and especially to Chitra ma'am. As she said, she is my teacher and it is very proud moment to share my ideas in front of everyone. And I am taking this as a platform to share ideas. Obviously, I believe what are all the suggestions and questions from the people that will take me to the next level of thinking. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your listening and attention. Thank you.
Students can feel free to either leave their questions in the chat box below or to unmute your mic and ask.
Any questions are there?
We'll wait for a minute, Ms. Reshma. Let us see if there is any questions.
Ma'am, what are the basic features of entrepreneurship?
What are all the basic
features of entrepreneurship?
Basic features of entrepreneurship. She's asking what are the basic features of entrepreneurship.
In terms of for an individual you are asking or for a company, in what terms you are expecting?
Ma'am, for an individual.
Can you little bit louder, please, ma'am?
For an individual, ma'am.
For an individual, fine. Okay, I can tell few things. After you step out from the academia to this startup journey, you should have an idea, first of all, what work you are going to contribute and how it is unique. I told no, you have to see what product you are going to deliver. How it is unique from the existing one in terms of quality, in terms of price, and how it should be reached to the market. All these things you have to design in terms of professional aspects. Okay, and you have to find out your competitive people who are still existing in the market, and how can you not fight, what to tell, how can you come better than those people. These things you have to work out in terms of professional. And in terms of personal, what I can tell is definitely keep on working. Hard work is very essential, and obviously at some days we can't do anything, that is for sure. Just come out from all those days, think for the positive part, and we have to apply for multiple projects because one or two will be clicking at the same time. You can't tell confidentially, you can't tell like that. Maybe your work is 200% perfect, but you can't expect that will click for a funding. So parallelly, you have to try for the suitable fundings as per the norms, and diversity in thinking is essential. Diversity in working is essential. That is, at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you are better than the previous day. That is in terms of a personal, I can tell. I think I can give some points on this aspects. I think this extent only.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
So, personally and on behalf of SNMV, I thank Reshma for your excellent presentation. You
Thank
have given a very good view on like where to from the foot to the head. You have given a very good explanation and how to reach an entrepreneur, how to become an entrepreneur, and how what are the ways by which we can achieve it. Okay, so you have given all those ideas, and I do hope the students would have enjoyed it, and they will implement in their thing too. Thank you, Reshma. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Last but definitely not the least, I invite Dr. S. Vinod, Innovation Activity Coordinator, HOD Postgraduate Computer Science, to express his sincere gratitude on behalf of the institution. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It is audible for you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, respected principal, director, convener, and dear participants, on behalf of SNMV College of Arts and Science and its entire fraternity, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. And I want to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. R. Krishnan, Head Entrepreneurship Development, Amrita Vishwa, Vidyapeetham, Coimbatore, who spared his time for his busy schedule to grace this occasion and enlighten all of us with the innovative ideas of entrepreneurship and innovation and the incubation centers, the young entrepreneurship, the best practices of new age entrepreneurship, present scenario of entrepreneurship. Sir rightly stressed and talked about entrepreneurship and innovation, which is very much required in the present time for young entrepreneurship students. Thank you so much, sir. And I further extend my hearty thanks to Reshma, Director, Microbolite, Research and Development Private Limited, Manipal, for his thought provoking insight of role of opportunities for budding entrepreneurship and company registration, funding for bootstrapping, and project proposal writing, how to apply for an incubation center, and technology readiness level, that is C.I.R, and initial fundings, building systems. Ma'am, rightly stressed divergent thinking can be developed at any stage in entrepreneurship and innovation. Thank you so much, madam. And especially thanks our principal, Dr. Subramani, for his unfaltering support and confidence in us. He is the backbone of the institution and the guiding force for every new step forward. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my deep regards to our MD Director, Dr. Amrita, sir, for being a constant motivator, guiding force in all our endeavors, excel in the field of entrepreneurship innovation. And I would like to thank the convener, IIC, Dr. Vidyalaya, for making this workshop a great success. And my deep sense of thanks and appreciation goes to all the faculty members and participants who are attended this workshop. The great enthusiasm made today's event a great success. Last but not least, to the technical support team. In the end, thank you all for being with us today. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your patient listening. Have a good day.